Labeling these women as mail-order brides generates a single negative viewpoint about them. What do you think? Is it exploitation? Objectification? Is she an opportunist? Or simply looking for a life partner? Let us look into her story, that of the Chinese and Filipino women, the process involved, and the misconceptions of the mail-order bride phenomenon. The practice of matchmaking between Americans and foreign women isn't new in American culture. The California Gold Rush had created a male-dominated society, and by the 1850s, it was common for Caucasian pioneers to obtain wives from Europe via brokers. By the 1900s, the labor needs of the Hawaiian sugar plantations created the same environment. With the help of matchmakers, photographs were used to introduce prospective couples. Some bachelors were able to send for brides, and from 1908 to 1924, picture brides from Japan and Korea arrived in Hawaii. The term mail-order bride itself evokes a negative stigma, automatically generalizing and misrepresenting those it labels. Stereotypes and images sensationalized by the media nurture that Orientalist viewpoint. David Bowie's China Girl, for example, fosters the typical stereotypes of Asian women: submissive and obedient, utterly feminine, exotic and sexual, dragon lady turned devious aggressor. There are many different types of introduction services. Our focus is on those of the marriage-minded foreign women, particularly Southeast Asian women, to Western men. Agencies such as cherryblossoms.com may offer dating, matrimonial, or social referral services. Schemes include memberships and subscriptions, and an exchange of names, phone numbers, email and postal addresses, as well as statistics. For a higher fee, some agencies offer drafting and translation of letters, psychological tests to prospective brides and grooms, as well as bridal tours and social parties. Most women may select an agency on the basis of cost, as the fees can be considered high. Chinese agencies, for example, tend to be more expensive and require women to pay membership fees to provide access to a translator. We interviewed Oscar of California. Single and divorced, Oscar shares his experience about his transnational relationship.
A very difficult time. I find myself alone, a little bit confused, thinking that probably marriage wasn't cut for. So I met friends. I got good advice from friends, and in this particular time, I also met this very nice lady, which came from China. We came out to be very good friends after a while, and she mentioned about her wonderful sister that wanted to come to the States. And it was a very wide open subject. The thing was, if we were to work out a good relationship, we could have an opportunity to get married, and she would have an opportunity to come to the States. At the time, I thought it was a fun idea, and I followed him up. And indeed, she was a very nice lady, and we just take off from one day to the next. We have telephone conversations, we write letters to each other, and we realized that actually would be very interesting to me. So I had an opportunity to travel to China, and I did meet her. And when I did so, I decided that yes, it was a good idea at the time, and I did get married. I make a second trip because tramitations and legalities, there was delaying the whole situation too long, so we wanted to see each other more often. So I had the opportunity to go over there once more, and during that time, our relationship was okay. But when she came to the States, and we had the experience to live together under a single roof, then we realized that we actually had things that we overlooked all the way around. And we began to experience all of these disagreements and other situations. And that took us all the way to divorce. And I think this could be a common thing for men to experience, especially in these circumstances. You know, we are living in a time in which everything is so fast that we can experience marriage and divorce several times in our lives without even noticing what is on between. Something that we have not been seeing years ago, simply because it was a different type of society, that the type of society that we have today, more modern, fast communications, and so on. So at this time, I am not married, and I prefer to have a friend. I think it's much more comfortable and less stress and less obligations, let's put it that way.